Hey, it's Craig with ProLight Gear, and I am getting ready to start the field testing of DriDown from Sierra Designs. What I've got here is my RAB shelter, and it's been raining for about the last 6 hours here. Current temperature is 36 degrees. We are at about 82% relative humidity, and it's been getting down to around 16 degrees at night. I'm actually in my backyard. I live out in the country. I've got some acreage. Not sure if I said I'm at about 5,300 feet right now. We're up by the ski hill. And the reason I want to do this in my backyard is because I needed an extension cord. We're always learning, we're always progressing, but I've got enough experience in this tent with regular down to know that I would survive the night in these conditions. My sleeping bag would be damp in the morning, but it wouldn't have completely failed. So I wanted to make things a little more challenging. So what I've done is hooked up a humidifier in here, and I'm going to let it run for a while. I just put it in there about 5 minutes ago. It's already up to 88 degrees relative humidity. So I'm going to let that go till it gets to be about, till I can tell it's pretty wet in there anyway. And it's about 7:30 now, so I don't want to go to bed for a while. So I'm just going to let this run for a while, get things nice and wet in there, and then we'll give this a test. So check in with you in a bit. Thanks. Okay, I am in the tent. It's about 9:30. I've let the humidifier run for 2 hours. It's nice and wet in here. I'll show you the hygrometer if I can. Currently showing, let's get underneath the light a little bit, 99% humidity. I've had it pegged at 99% for the last 2 hours. It was 32 degrees when I first got in here. I actually had to do a second take because I wasn't in camera the entire first take. So temperature's risen a bit since I've been in here. It's 32 degrees outside. It's supposed to get down to around 16 degrees tonight. Current relative humidity outside was 86 when I came in. It is still raining. The test bag I'm using for this is a Sierra Designs Cal 13. It's a 13 degree bag from Sierra Designs. Let's see, you're using 800 power fill DriDown. And full disclosure, Sierra Designs gave this bag to me. That's not uncommon. It's the owner of a gear shop for companies to give us something to try out, especially if we're testing new technology. We don't allow it to influence our opinion of something. Our model at ProLight Gear is we only sell the stuff that we absolutely believe in and have personally tested. So I don't know if you can see this on camera or not, but it's very wet in here. I've got my little Snow Peak lantern here, but you won't be able to see that, but this surface fabric, this face fabric on this event shelter I'm in, it's wetted out. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not, but yeah, it's very damp in here. So yeah, I'll probably do a review on this bag since I'm spending the night in it. But I'm going to separate that into a different video because this video is supposed to be just on a field test for DriDown. I've spent enough nights in this shelter with my untreated down bags to know that in these conditions I'd be waking up in the morning with a bag that had lost a fair amount of its loft, and then I'd be actively working throughout the day to mitigate that down being wet and trying to dry it out every chance I could. So yeah, I expect this is going to be a pretty a good test for this tonight. It's still raining. It's been raining for about the last 8 hours now, and with the temperature dropping and me being in here, I've completely closed up this shelter, so I'm not venting it at all. So yeah, I may get up in the middle of the night and check in if things are bad. Otherwise, I'll be checking in with you in the morning. You know, real quick, one thing I forgot to mention, I am going to spend the night in a lightweight down jacket, just kind of as a control to compare untreated down to my sleeping bag. I normally sleep like this with a lightweight down jacket on. This is my kind of standard mid-layer, insulating mid-layer that I use. And so I've been in here now for, oh gosh, probably a half an hour since I first got into the shelter. And yeah, I can already feel that this thing is damp. So that'll be interesting to see what this is like, or not damp, but it just doesn't have its normal loft. I don't know if you can see that on camera. So it'll be interesting to see what this jacket is like in the morning. But wanted to mention that before I call it a night. Thanks. Okay, it is 5:30 and I need to get up. Let's see here. I got up a couple times in the middle of the night, and it only stopped raining once for about an hour. It's still raining. I don't know if you can see this, but you know, I've got, you're not going to be able to see it, but there are complete beads of moisture throughout the shelter. Oh, my camera's so fogged up. The hygrometer is 92% humidity, 36 degrees in here. It didn't get nearly as cold last night as I was expecting. I thought I would wake up to a bunch of snow, and that didn't happen. The surface fabric on the sleeping bag, it's completely covered with moisture, so I think we were effective in that regard. But the sleeping bag itself is fine. I wanted to show you this. I don't think this is gonna work on, let me grab a flashlight. I had my foot side of my sleeping bag. I decided just to put it right down on Eva's oat pad, and that thing is absolutely soaked, and so the foot box has been in a bunch of water all night. You can maybe see the tags there are just completely drenched. So yeah, it's still very, very wet in here. Looking at my camera lens, it's completely fogged up, but yeah, the bag is fine. I don't feel actually any noticeable loss of loft whatsoever, so I'm going to call this a success. My down jacket that I'm wearing, yeah, I can tell I've lost some loft in it, but actually not as bad as I was expecting, but definitely did lose a little bit of loft in my untreated down jacket. So yeah, I think I'm going to wrap this up, or at least this portion of the field testing up for now. I'm pretty impressed so far. Thanks for watching. I just had to show you guys this real quick. I just got out, walked in to make a cup of coffee, and that's when the snow started. So temperature is dropping now. I was just a little too eager to get out of the tent this morning, I guess.